Confirm that you can hear me.
Perfect. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, great. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining. I wanted to make the session more interactive, just make it open and less banter and have questions, more like a Q&A session. But I have a strategy background, so deck building is what we love to do. So I'm going to do some sort of introduction about the topic, and then we can now delve into the Q&A session. It is also important that when we talk about Web3 marketing, practical experience, technical experience actively comes into play. So I'll be talking more on the Web3 marketing environment and the Web3 ecosystem in general, and less about how to find a job in Web3, because the fastest way to get a job in Web3 is in having practical experience or practical knowledge of what the entire ecosystem is all about. If anyone is trying to sell you courses on how to get a job in Web3, I'd say don't pay attention to that. Instead, find ways to come into the entire Web3 space and learn as much as you can. That is the fastest way to get a job in Web3. So we're going to spend more time learning all about what Web3 is all about than and less on how to get a job in Web3. So yeah, Bukai has already done justice to this particular part of the slide. But yeah, for emphasis sake, my name is Harri Obi, but I'm popularly known as Harri Obi. Currently, I'm the PR and marketing manager for FTX in Africa. So for those of you that do not know what FTX is a $40 billion mammoth of a company, but the second or third largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Depending on the metrics you're looking at, sometimes second, sometimes third. So what I do for FTX is I handle all of their brand, product, communication strategy, part of the brand for Africa. So last year we kickstarted our PR and marketing activities in the region. Before then, we had 0 to little presence, and within a year, we've seen significant growth, and that is as a result of some of the things that we've put in place, some of the campaigns that we've conceptualized and launched, and clearly some of the team members have been privileged to work with. I'm also the co-founder of a new company. It's called Digital Natives. Digital Natives is basically a company that builds social or party experiences for primarily for tech people. It's not just for tech. Our parties and our events are not just for tech people, but yeah, those are our primary target audience. It's called Digital Natives. We haven't done anything significant yet, so this is basically the first time I'm talking about it openly. So because of we all play in the digital space, so just put that in the back of your mind. Another part of me is I'm still evolving. I still learning, taking coding classes, and it's important not just where I work. So you're able to understand when some of this Web3 solidity or Rust engineers talk about how they do the engineering thing in Web3. But it's also important for me to always upskill. Yeah, I think one of the secrets to my success is just being able to learn new things. So I'm still evolving. I'm taking coding classes. I'm taking so many other classes. I'm exploring so many other ideas. I'm investing in so many other projects. So as marketers, I've constantly preached against just being stagnant. When you evolve, you become a better person. You become a better marketer, and generally a better person. So that is basically who Harrison is. Now let's talk about Web3. If someone asks you what Web3 is, if you can clearly articulate what decentralization is within the Web3 context, you've done justice to Web3. Like, you really do not need um, um, any other extra answers. Web3 is basically decentralization. That is the core tenet of Web3. And like I wrote here, the online space is evolving into one that's more immersive, more intuitive, transparent, and truly democratic. Now, the public is witnessing a net evolution bigger than the innovations from the dot-com era and also the Web 2.0 social media technology era. Um, I personally believe that the next wave of computing innovation will be built on decentralized technology. That is my belief. There are people that do not adhere or do not believe in this line of thought, but that is my own belief, especially because I work in the blockchain space. Now, decentralized technologies is appealing to people like me because it offers an alternative to a digital status quo that is increasingly dominated by big tech and oppressive regimes. Um, I mean, that basically sums it up. Yeah. The fact that, for example, the government banned um, crypto exchanges, for example, from interfacing with banks. The most the government can do is ban is ban that interaction, ban that's interfacing sort of. But they will never be able to ban people from transacting, for example, on the blockchain. Um, but they can ban Twitter, they can ban other brands, but technically, they really cannot ban how people interact on the blockchain, which is a decentralized technology. So that is appealing to people like me. Also, within the context of how big tech rules over 2.0, I'm still going to talk a bit about that. But I mean, that is almost impossible, at least at this nascent stage of Web3. That is almost impossible for a particular brand or particular company to own all of the parts of a DApp, for example, or decentralized tech. So that is basically what's appealing to me. The fact that it's open source, the fact that it's traceable, the fact that it's democratic and decentralized. So this is one definition that um, sort of speaks to that. I like it. I think I got it from Wikipedia. So Web3 is an idea for a new iteration of the World Wide Web, which incorporates concepts such as decentralization, virtual reality, blockchain technology, community, token-based economics or tokenomics. Now, proponents of this new technology have contrasted it with Web 2.0, and I already sort of explained this, where data and content are centralized in a small group of companies referred to as the big tech. So you have the Amazons, you have the Facebooks, you have the Apple and the Google and the rest. Web 3.0 is totally, or the idea aims to sort of disconnect from that whole centralization um, that is very major in the Web 2.0 space. So Web3 will provide increased data security, scalability, privacy for users, and combat the influence of large technology companies. So that is why I feel like a lot of people do not subscribe to this. The fact that nobody owns what goes on in Web3 is really decentralized and to a large extent. Now, what makes up the Web3 ecosystem? If you are going to play actively in the Web3 marketing space, if you're going to play actively in the Web3 marketing space, if you're looking to switch to Web3 marketing, there are a few things that you need to know. I like to think that many times you really do not need to know all of the moving parts in Web 2.0 to do a good job in Web 2.0 marketing. As long as you're very good in marketing, the rest will just take care of it. But that is not necessarily so in Web 3.0. You must understand certain parts of it. You must understand certain concepts. You must understand certain terms to thrive in Web 3.0. If you not only understand what they are, but also understand how to sort of navigate the sub ecosystems or the platforms, or like we call it in blockchain technology, the decentralized applications, dApps. So you must know what are NFTs. So I mean, I mean, I know that a handful of you are confused about NFTs. So in crypto, we call it DYOR. So go do your research about what NFTs are. DeFi, I mean, DeFi means decentralized finance. It covers everything from centralized crypto exchanges, decentralized exchanges, stable coins, what else? CBDCs, the regulatory environment around crypto. So you want to go understand and go read up a lot about each sub ecosystem has so many moving parts. Like they're literally major major topics, major industries on their own. And there's also metaverse and gaming. So metaverse and gaming, which is another important part of it. Facebook, I mean, many of you know how Facebook is moving with the whole meta and metaverse idea. The people that believe that Facebook's metaverse, no, Facebook is building its metaverse outside of the blockchain, and then the blockchain disciples or adherents that believe that what Facebook is doing is a joke. That no true metaverse should be built outside of the blockchain technology because of the decentralized and transparent nature of the blockchain technology. So we've not gotten to El Dorado yet. We still don't know how the metaverse would look like 10 years from now, and that is the truth. But all we know is that Facebook is really pushing hard on what they believe that the metaverse should be. Also, gaming. I mean, the gaming industry is really major. I like to think that they were the first to start out what we currently call the metaverse. We can't really talk about the evolution of metaverse without talking about the influence of game developers, of game designers, and game builders. You also want to go learn concepts like play to earn gaming, which we call P2E. You also want to learn about DAOs. So DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations, relatively new concept within the blockchain space. Over here, DAOs, they want to revolutionize how traditional organization structures function. So here, everybody has a say. As long as you have, depending on how the DAO is structured, the DAO's token, that is what would determine your voting power. So it's basically democratized. Nobody owns the company. Nobody is the biggest shareholder, and nobody is a managing director. We all have equal voting powers to a large extent. Also, you want to go learn about blockchains, different blockchains. You want to go learn about L1 blockchains. You want to go learn about L2 blockchains. You want to learn about blockchains like Cardano, Solana, BNB, and the rest. So it's the Web3 ecosystem is just massive. That is why no one would truly call themselves. That is why Web3 marketers call themselves Web3 experts, or I mean, generally people call themselves Web3 expert. I'm like, I mean, Web3 is just so wild. Like what areas are you focusing on? So yeah, you would never see anybody that really knows their stuff claim that they're experts within the Web3 space. You just have to pick one part and learn about it or play actively in it. For example, I play within the DeFi space, and DeFi to a large extent covers some of these moving parts that are here. DeFi covers stuff like NFTs, also covers blockchain, crypto, centralized exchanges, and decentralized exchanges. So how is the marketing environment like? I mean, that is why we're here. The marketing environment in Web 3.0. The marketing environment in Web 3.0 is really still evolving. Honestly, like I tweeted one time, a lot of us that are at the forefront of what is happening within the Web3 marketing space are basically still learning. There's no guidebook, there's no formula, there's no reference letter or paper that we can say, okay, this is how you do marketing in Web3. So basically what we all are doing, we're experimenting, we're learning as we grow. So the marketing revolution is being televised. Sorry, hold on. You said? Then I go church. Where in the? Is that in cage? All right, now no water. Yeah. So the marketing revolution is being televised basically in Web 3.0. Um, it's still evolving. Yeah. The Web 1 marketing environment, for those of you that that remember, what we had were static websites, pages of information like text and graphic. That was the kind of content that we could do. Type out something. I do not even know the applications that we used to use then. You type it out, you print it, and that was basically how much marketing we could do within the Web 1.0 space. In Web 2.0, it was more social, it was more interactive. We had moved from the Web 1.0 open protocols to closed protocols. Now, Google and the major big tech companies that I mentioned earlier now built their own systems, their own servers that only them could have access to. So that was basically how we were able to do Web 2.0 marketing. I mean, this is DigiClan community. So this is where many of us actively play in. How do we run SEOs? How do we run influencer marketing on social media platforms? Social media marketing, digital marketing. I mean, the whole nine yards. So what am I currently seeing in Web 3.0 marketing? I'm seeing a lot more focus on massive experiences. I've seen a lot more focus on community building and engagement. So it's almost, I'll talk about that later, but it's almost impossible to do marketing in the Web 3.0 space without having an active community backing that project or product, as we call it in blockchain. So I'm seeing a lot more immersive experiences. People are beginning to explore what virtual spaces, what quote metaverse would look like. So as marketers, how would you develop your strategies around that? How would you develop a strategy around building community and engaging the community? Also, in Web 3.0, especially the blockchain aspect of it, the token economy reward system is really big. What we call um, examples, the whitelist, grinders, um, um, also giveaways are really big because a lot of people will not buy into your project if there's no reward system for them. They want to know that they also own some some part of the product or some part of the project. So these are some of the things that I have personally seen in what is happening in Web 3.0 space. And this cuts across not just DeFi, that is the massive experiences, the community building and the token reward system. It cuts across not just DeFi, but also the metaverse and the gaming sphere, the NFTs, DAOs, and all of that. So that's basically that. So Web3 marketing is not just evolving, it's revolutionizing how we think about the internet. So I've sort of explained this. The Web 3.0 environment enhances the user experience by providing rich and interactive advertising opportunities and multiple touch points. So as marketers, we're no longer restricted to some of the touch points that we know that we know how to use in marketing or reaching our consumers. Now we have an increase in basically avenues to reach our consumers, show them our product. I mean, we've already seen brands actively doing that. Nike's already collaborating with um, with a brand that builds sneakers for the metaverse. People are already buying properties on the metaverse where they hope that consumers would eventually come into all of that space and they're able to reach even more consumers. So there's now a lot more opportunity to reach our consumers in multiple touch points. Like I said, yeah, this is a boon for marketers because they can now deliver more targeted ads to customers. Marketers would have access to many different sources of information and publicly available data about users, which will in turn influence the marketing strategy. So it's just an opportunity. Honestly, there's really nothing different from what we do in Web 2.0. It just gives us as marketers many more opportunities to reach consumers. Where consumers are beginning to to play games. For example, in the metaverse, how would you reach those consumers? Token reward system, um, bringing them into a particular community, and not just building a community, but also how would you engage them? So this is basically what Web 3.0, the Web 3.0 marketing environment is. Before you launch a Web3 marketing campaign, and there's several ways of launching a Web3 marketing campaign. In fact, I was going to do a detailed diagram structure of how to launch a Web3 a Web3 marketing campaign, but I think let me just use this to cover it. In Web3, basically starts with the product. Everything we do starts with the product, and that's why we talk a lot about what are the engineers doing in Web3. What are the devs doing? What are the devs doing? Everything starts from the product. The devs are the gods in Web3. So everything basically starts with the product. So as a marketer in Web3, you must play an active role in the product development process. So you're not just there to wait for the product to be ready and then you push out the product. You must play an active role in how the product is developed. I mean, those of you that have taken product marketing, product management courses, you know that. I mean, this is not necessarily new to you. So your job should go beyond developing and reading the white paper. So white papers for DeFi or blockchain projects basically highlights the problems and the solutions that the product or the project aims to solve. Yeah. So your job must go beyond developing it, reading it, understanding it. It will also go beyond just building the communication strategy. So we have a product. So how are we going to get the product out there? What type of messaging are we going to build around the product? So your job as a Web3 marketer must go beyond that. You must play an active role in the entire product development process. Communities, yeah. So community is also. I mean, when people talk about community in Web3, I see a lot of people confuse it for having a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group or a Discord or a Reddit community. It goes beyond that, and that is why you would see how passionate people in different Web3 communities are about that project. Like really passionate. Like they would literally come for your head if you mess around with their product or mess around with their project. In Web3, communities and social followers or audience. Through Web3, community interacts with each other, create their own ties, vibrancy or culture, or facilitated through their shared passions or interests. So it's and I can give examples of several Web3 projects that I've personally even interacted with, and I see how crazy and how passionate they are. So that is a Web3 community. It's much more than just we have 100,000 members on Telegram. It's much more than that. Out of the 100,000, how many of them are very passionate about it? How many of them are key players on your project? So that is how to build. That is how to see a community, a Web3 community. Now, the key question here is now, how do you engage them and get them excited about your project? That's where the concept of community engagement comes into play. That is an entirely different topic. So community building, community engagement. There's also the token reward system. There's also the ICOs. There's also the whitelist. I mean, it's a whole lot. And then mass marketing. I've seen Web3 projects and products. When I say project, I mean product. But over here we use project a lot. I've seen a lot of Web3 products that have been existing and thriving without doing mass marketing. A whole lot that are valued in the billions of dollars. So, why I put mass marketing here is, I mean, if it's your cup of tea, if it's something that you want to explore, you want to now, after you've built your community, after you understand the product, you want other people outside of the community to come into the project or to buy into the project. I mean, we all know what mass marketing involves. Mass marketing here is not different from what we do in Web 2.0 marketing. That would include the communication strategy, your PR, your influencer marketing, your paid media, organic media, and all of that. Yeah, but I just gave one line here if necessary, because I've seen so many Web3 projects um, that are thriving, that are doing so amazing well without essentially doing what we call a mass marketing. Getting a job in Web3 marketing. The first thing I want to point out here is that there's a depth, there's a lack of, there's a lack of, so I want to say marketers. There's a lack of Web3 marketers. Let me put it that way. There's not a lack of marketers, and there's not a lack of people that know Web3 or marketers that know Web3, but a lot of people that not only understand Web3 end to end, but also have a solid background in marketing. And that is why I feel like people like me have sort of thrived, because when you come into Web3, a lot of the people that drive marketing for a lot of these Web3 projects are guys that are influencers, guys that have large communities, guys that have large following. Yeah, and that is understandably so, because, like I mentioned, there's really no marketing in Web3 without the community backing it. With the community, it makes it easy for you to launch a project, because you already have apostles and disciples that would not only buy into that project, but would also act as a form of word of mouth marketing for you. So communities is an essential part of Web 3.0 marketing. So understandably, when people would rather engage the services of marketers and co that have a large following like influencers. But what we lack here is people that have a solid foundation in marketing and also understand what is going on within the Web 3.0 ecosystem. And people like me that have this both skill sets are in hot demand. I mean, I earn really well, and so many other perks, but then there are companies that are actively coming for you and giving you a large check. Give me a blank check, like how much do you want to earn? These are our perks. This is what we want to give to you. So if you're thinking of exploring Web3 marketing, this is a very good time to come into it, because we're looking for people like you. Now, getting a job in Web3 marketing is really easy. We don't demand so much, because the barriers to entry are super low, super low. If you have very good marketing experience, if you have foundation or even basic marketing experience, and you now know about Web 3.0, you're basically a hot cake. So we don't have so much, all of that 4-5 years experience, all of that. You must know SEO, you must know how to build website, you must know HTML and CSS, basic understanding, blah, blah, blah. You must have worked in an agency for 10 years, 15 years. All of that do not apply here. The first thing that would be required for me is usually practical knowledge with building and navigating Web3 platforms and dApps. That is like the most important thing. If you've done a marketing course 101, Google Digital Skills course, whatever it is, and you really know about navigating Web3 platforms, you can bridge applications on protocols. You know how to set up a wallet, for example, a Phantom wallet, for example, a MetaMask wallet. You know how to navigate not just centralized crypto exchanges, but also decentralized crypto exchanges. You also know if you know how to build, that's also an extra. So they want to know that you have these things. You want to, last year, I came into the Web3 space last year, middle of last year. And then a lot of the Web3 companies were okay with giving a chance to people that didn't have Web3 or blockchain experience. Yeah, because it was relatively new, and marketers were in hot demand. But right now, I've come to notice that has changed totally. If you don't have experience navigating Web3 platforms, it's almost impossible for them to give you a chance. And I know this because I get pushed a lot, and I try to sell some of my friends. So really solid in marketing, but without the understanding of how to navigate some of these apps, and it's really a challenge. So yeah, that's the first thing you want to do. So and the best way to learn how to navigate Web3 apps is by basically downloading Web3 apps and and try them out. So do you have a crypto wallet? Do you know features like staking? Um, what other dApps, decentralized apps can you use? So if you want to apply a trader, if you want to come into the Web3 marketing space, that's like the first thing is to just dive into the ecosystem, join communities, download Web3 apps, and learn about how they work. Um, Also, another thing that is really in demand right now is Web3 marketing experience launching actual Web3 projects. Like I said, project here, it means product. So people want to know what Web3 um, apps or what Web3 projects you've launched. How were you able to launch them? What was the thinking behind it? Last year, this wasn't a problem. Um, People are not looking for people with marketing experience, Web3 marketing experience. But now, I mean, it's Web3 has become sort of major, and if you don't have this particular skill set, it's almost impossible for you to get hired. Another thing that's very important is culture fit, because over here things move really fast. So nobody has time to be doing all of that staff training, and is it the right person for us? So I mean, from the scratch, one of the first things they look out for is um, how would he manage in a fast-paced environment? Are you the type that you always complain about how horrible your bosses are and they make you work? I mean, I work. I don't have a 9 to 5. I have an 8 to 8 basically. So they want to be sure that you can interact with your colleagues. And many times, like I work with a global brand, so I've only met a few of my colleagues. They want to know that you can how will you be able to interact with colleagues in different time zones. What kind of a person are you? What is your motivation? So those are very and what 3.0 organizations or companies have a way to large extent how many of them function, which is totally different from how it is in Web 2.0 environment. So you want to go before you work for a company. You want to go. What is that CEO like? Is that CEO outspoken? Is he energetic? Is he conservative? And all of that. So that is another three things that I know that a lot of recruiters look out for when hiring in for Web3 marketing role. Um, yeah, that's basically that. So this is the question time. I'll be taking questions that are not on Google. I mean, I like emphasizing that. I don't like giving after my speech or my lecture and someone says, "What is the meaning of NFTs?" Hello, you can Google what the meaning of NFTs or what DAOs are. So yeah, I'm open to answering questions that are not on Google. So yeah.
Can you confirm you can hear me? I need to be sure.
Yes,
Yes,
we
can hear you.
can.
That was a great section. I think I learned a couple of things as well. You can unmute your mic this time around. So Emmanuel Houston has a question. So you can unmute your mic and choose the question, please. You can also drop it in the comment section, and then we'll take it.
Um, Hi, morning. Hello. How you doing?
Yeah, confirm that you can hear me
Can
also.
Yeah, I can hear you, Ari. Good morning. Great session. I mean, you said a lot of things, and okay. First of all, I am a community manager in the Web3 space, and I have started following you because I mean, I'm trying to get an understanding of how marketing works, right? Because when I joined, I used to think community and marketing were two separate parts. But I mean, from my interaction in the space, come to see that one cannot exist without the other. Like, actually, you're building a community so that these community members are your biggest skills, right? And I think manager, I like to talk about my brand a lot. My question for you basically is looking at FTX, right? Do you have any plans to go into the decentralized space currently? I mean,
Sorry,
FTX is a centralized
you're
exchange.
so you're breaking. I didn't get the
Ooh.
question. You're looking at FTX.
Oh, yeah, like, are there any plans to go into the decentralized space for FTX, like maybe building decentralized wallets or dApps or things like
We we
that? I mean, just living.
we
Oh,
yeah, we are. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can
Can
hear you.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, we're a centralized exchange. But we have one of the fastest growing decentralized exchanges out there. But we do not push it because we how do I say this now? Um, we don't want, because of the nature of decentralized exchanges, it has to be truly independent and truly democratic. So there's a decentralized exchange called Project Serum. I don't know if you ever heard about Project Serum, but you can go check out Project Serum. We've been doing amazing numbers. It's owned by FTX. So yes, we have a few other dApps and applications that we've built. So someone has actually said about Project Serum. So yeah, FTX owns Project Serum. It's part of our company, and not just dApps, building dApps that we have. We also invest in a lot. We invest in a lot of Web3 projects. So we might not have like a lot of dApps I've talked about, but yeah, we invest a lot in Web3 projects. Yes, we invested in Phantom, Solets, invested in Solana. I mean, I don't think that. In fact, there's a new chain that is out, Aptos. I mean, I don't think there's any Web3 project that has come to FTX TV that we've not invested in. So yeah. So yeah,
Oh, great.
we have major plans to do that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so someone asked, so I'm going to the chat section and I'm going to, okay, you know what? Okay, you can ask a question and then I'll jump into the chat section. I think someone's hand is raised, so we can go ahead and ask a question and then I'll jump into the chat section.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Harris, for the great session. You mentioned some very key things that I've been looking forward to learning. Thank you. So my question is this. You mentioned that the best way to understand how Web3 platform works is to download them, try them out, and understand how they work. So aside this, how would you advise someone that is in the marketing space but not so much into the Web3 platforms that I want to just start learning? So aside downloading the app, I know that could be the best way to experience it. But aside that, now I want to start gathering knowledge. You mentioned some communities. Would you like to mention the names so we could check them out and see how we can join? And also, is there a particular course or platform that we can go on to like learn more and get more knowledge? Thank you.
Yeah, courses. I've come across a few courses that you can take to understand. In fact, I have a drive. I mean, I always have a drive. For those of you that know me, I have a drive of where I store all of my Web3 documents from that talks about. The drive contains folders that have documents and learnings and teachings about NFTs, community, Web3, crypto, and all of that. So I'm going to share a few documents with you guys. That is one. I also look for those courses where you can go learn about blockchain marketing or crypto marketing, or learn how to navigate certain other platforms. I'll look for them. I don't have them readily available right now, but now I've sent it to a few of my mentees in quotes, and I'll look for them and share. I mean, for a start, just so your brains are not blown out. For a start, there's a lot of community engagement activities happening within the NFT space. It's a bear market right now, so a lot of things are not happening. But you can follow a handful of. I can recommend handles, a handful of NFT, Nigerian African NFT, Nigerian NFT influencers. Many of them have they have their own DAOs and have their own communities, mainly on Discord. So I would recommend a few of them, and you can follow them, learn what just read what they say on a daily basis, learn how they build their engagements, also learn how they do their token reward system, and all of that. So yeah, I'll share these resources with you. If I'm not on this course, remind me. So I'll just I'll share with the house. First question: other let me see. So that's crypto. What other products? Three products. So that's crypto wallet. What other products are out there? There's so many. There's so many products within the gaming space. I don't have one in mind. Maybe is it Roblox? Is it Decentraland? There's just so many that you can just explore. See, as long as you can Google the answer, you can just Google Web3 products, and you have although many of the answers you get are basically in the DeFi space because financial product basically accelerated the blockchain part of Web3. So many times you see products. You see products like Uniswap, like OpenSea, yeah, Axie Infinity. How did I forget Axie Infinity, Alienware, and the rest of them? So you want to go do your research, and yeah, the answer is out there. The next question, which is for me, what is the best way to launch a Web 3.0 product that really gets users on board? Just build a community. I remember a friend of mine got a job. So I'm reading the chat now. Someone asked, what is the best way to launch a Web 3.0 product? A friend of mine got a job with a play to earn game, really good gig. And then he was already thinking of how he was going to launch with influencers and I mean, we had a meeting. I told him, see, you're just going to waste the money if you're just going to go from products to mass marketing. You need a community of believers. So before you launch a Web 3.0 product, spend years. I know Web 3 projects that scaled because they spent years. In fact, they've not even done marketing until today, mass marketing until today. So you go be the community. This is where community engagement comes into play. So find a way to reward the community, find a way to educate them, find a way to reward them, let them know about your project. And it's very easy for them to buy into it. So that's the best way to launch a Web 3.0 product. To onboard users. Acquisition cost basically is around community building. So before you now start doing there's a part that mass marketing plays, no doubt, which is largely dependent on the type of product and the type of project. But yeah, go first, have a community. And they can be anywhere. They can be on Instagram, they can be on Twitter, they can be on Discord, they can be on Telegram. But Telegram and Discord are optimized for community building and engagement. But they can be anywhere. But like I said, it's not followers and it's not audience. Like, how many people believe in your project? How many people would wear your merch to the ends of the earth, would tell people about your product? That is where a lot of people miss it when it comes to pushing out Web3 products in Africa. They think it's just letting influencers shield a project or shield a token or just making noise or going to do art on Instablog. No, like one person in your community that believes in your project can 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 have can generate more revenue than 10,000 people, and that is the truth. And we see that from the back end, even in centralized crypto exchanges. One person can be trading the volume of 1,000 people just from his bedroom. And those are the people that you want to target, people that love your project, people that love your product, and not just going out there to do mass marketing. Yeah, FCS is heavily invested in Phantom and Solets. Yeah, basically, I mean, we're one of the largest backers of the Solana ecosystem. Also, beyond giveaways and other financial, what are the best ways to keep community members actually engage with product? If you're very good with engagement ideas, basically, it's the engagement ideas that are used that we use for our communities, for example, in FTX. There's really nothing different. Like, do giveaways, do learnings, throw party, do sessions, do merch giveaway, give out free USDC, give out free tokens. I mean, there's nothing special about engagement strategy. That's the easiest thing to do to keep your community members active and engaged. Once you do some of these things, they feel like they own a part of the product. They feel like they are not just end users or consumers. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, Web3 ladies. Hi, Web3 ladies. Oh yeah, Web3 ladies is a community. Yes. If you're late, oh my God, how did I forget that? Yes. Follow Web3 ladies. We've partnered with them on a campaign. We launched a Women in Crypto campaign, and we partnered with them on that project. So you can follow Web3 ladies and see the amazing stuff that they're doing. Yeah, whiteboard crypto. Yeah. The comment section is really educative. So you can just read out what's happening in the comment section.
Yeah. I think we have Ike's hand up. Ike, do you want to go ask a question?
Okay, yeah.
Please, you got 30 seconds so that we can take to this question as well. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Harri Obi. I really enjoyed this session, and sincerely, I've been following you for some time now, and you're doing a really good job. So that being said, I want to ask a question concerning me developing. Okay, let's say I'm currently a business developer, a traditional business developer normally, and then a freelance social media marketer manager. So I'm now looking at. I also have a knowledge on cryptocurrency and blockchain. I invest, I trade once in a while, right? But now I'm looking for a way of merging these two. My knowledge on cryptocurrency normally that's outside my marketing and business development. And now I'm looking at merging both of them and seeing how I can develop a career being a Web3, now blockchain centered Web3 business developer or strategist, right? And then see how I can actually grow it and I can't just stumble and just call myself a Web3 business developer or Web3 social media manager or something. I'm just looking for a way to actually do it. It's a bit confusing. And then my second question is, how do I now use this skill in a non-English country where I do not understand the language, and then will it be easy for me to actually market myself as a Web3 business developer or social media manager in a non-English speaking country? I just need ideas on this, actually.
Yeah. This one is hard. especially I mean, non-English I mean, what kind of service are you going to offer? Like, because you don't understand the language. I think it starts from there. I do not know how. If for example, it's a French-speaking country, you must to a large extent understand French or how we've done it. I've launched campaigns in French-speaking countries. Why I do not understand? Why not necessarily understanding French? But I feel like when you get the job, I'm not sure how that would play out. But how I've done it is having capable hands in different countries. So while I handle why I drive marketing and PR for FTX in all our markets within the region. I also have hands that I work with. For example, translating some of my content. We did something in a French-speaking country, and clearly you develop your content, develop your communication, your messaging, press release, graphics, and all of that. You then give it to your person on ground to sort of translate. That's how I've seen it work. I don't know, for example, how you are that speak English would work or thrive in an environment that is speak maybe Hindi, French, or all of that. So I mean, I don't think I have a perfect answer to that, but if you get a job, you might now start looking for people that have similar skill sets in those countries to sort of engage them. If you're not allowed to engage them openly, where you make them part of your team as the business development manager of that project, you can engage them through the back end, and that is the truth. Then you can engage them through the back end, and there's so many ways of finding these people. The first question: how do you merge both skills? I mean, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to. You need to press something or say something magical. Just start developing yourself within that sphere. So who are the top, in quotes, growth or business development people in Web3? What do they do? How do they do that project? Many times you find these people within the decentralized finance space, within the crypto financial part of the chain space. But yeah, go look at what they're doing. How are they building their communities? How are they doing their business? What kind of events are they attending? What can you learn from them? So I mean, I don't think you need to press a key or say a magical word and all of a sudden you become a biz dev within the Web3 space. No, just follow what is happening. Also be able to understand how all of this moving parts come into play. So how would NFTs influence your decision or your business? How would DAOs influence your decision or your business? So yeah, that is basically that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So someone asked, how does Web3 change the way marketers build and sustain communities? I mean, I think I've been answering the question since the first slide. Web3 is really immersive. Web3 is really democratic, transparent, and decentralized. So it basically just creates more avenues, more touch points for us to reach the consumers. Yeah. Eventually, if the idea of a metaverse really scales, we all will definitely move into metaverse marketing. It is the truth. It is the truth. If you're still working for an agency, for example, and then everybody's buying lands in the metaverse or buying shops in the metaverse, clearly your client will start asking, so what's up? Should we buy a land in this metaverse? Just like how when TikTok clients were already asking you, can we get a TikTok strategy? Can we have an account on TikTok? So that's basically how it's going to be. Like I mentioned, there's really no difference in this part of it. You just have multiple ways of reaching your consumers, multiple touch points to sell your goods and to basically reach your end users. How does Web3 empower consumer? I mean, it's still the same thing to a large extent. Now you have more power to decide how you want to play. Nobody owns your data. Nobody can suspend your accounts. I mean, I know a lot of us complain about it. Nobody can wake up and suspend your account. If a transaction is made, for example, on chain, you know where you can trace money that someone has sent 5 years ago on chain. That is basically how Web3 empower consumers. Just it makes them powerful. It's decentralized, it's transparent. It's really democratic. There's nobody in Google's office saying, "Oh, because he said something, we're going to suspend your account." I mean, that is what Web3 aims to correct, basically. So yeah, I think that is all the answer. Yeah, so many courses. Funny enough, I was going through. Yeah, go to Udemy and write Web3 social media or something. I'm sure you're going to see amazing courses that you can explore. Yeah, I mean that's like the easiest part. Social media strategy for 3.0 firm. And you can check out online courses on Coursera and Udemy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we just take the last question from Polu Nimi. I don't know if it's my network breaking.
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning, everyone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're in the afternoon. Good afternoon. So I want to ask, is there something Web3 recruiters are actually looking to see in your CV? Because it's one thing to understand everything you've talked about, Harrison, and it's another thing for recruiters to actually see that, okay, let's call this person back for at least an interview to hear her out. Because I perfectly understand the Web3 space, but getting a role, getting a job in this space has been so difficult. So I don't know if I'm actually making a mistake with my resume or something, or maybe I just need to join a community first, then start to, engage with the community members. Maybe they can actually see me and pick me up or something. But is there something recruiters are actually looking for to just call you back? I don't know if you understand my question, Harrison.
yes, I do. So like I mentioned, barrier to entry is very low in Web3 marketing. They do not, many times there's no demand for anything other than the fact that you're part of a DAO, or you've launched a project, or 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 you've done something outside of traditional marketing. And this is the truth. If you, for example, now you can join a community, for example, a DAO, and just be a moderator of that community. That is all you need with your marketing experience, and then being a team of of any DAO, anything at all. You know how to navigate. You know how to navigate Discord. I know how to. You're managing a community. Many times that's all they want. Another thing is what type of Web3 project have you been part of? If someone is launching a Web3 project, for example, you can tell them, okay, you want to play an active part of this. It could be as basic as creating content for that. It could be as basic as creating content for that project, or handling the influencer marketing part of it, or handling social media. So it's that basic. But if your CV does not contain, so you want to optimize your CV to ensure that it contains not just Web 3.0 terms, technical terms, dApps, Web3 marketing, crypto marketing, blockchain days, blockchain development, community moderation, DAO. You want apart from the fact that you need to optimize your CV for those keywords. You also want to show that you have, like I mentioned, practical experience with either platforms, or you've actually launched a web. And it doesn't have to be. The funny thing is, it doesn't even have to be major significant. You don't have to have worked for an FTS, or worked or done project for Infinity, or for Solana to get a job. It could be anything that just has DAO in front. It could be anything. It could be Afro DAO. Maker DAO is big. It could be anything that has DAO, or shows that you know how to manage a Discord community. And people would want to have a conversation with you. And I can also share I can also share my CV on my LinkedIn with you, so you go look at how some of these things are optimized. So yeah.
So I'd really
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah, NFT projects. Being also said NFT projects are actually NFT projects are like very easy. And not doing launching NFT projects. You can go join. There's a Nigerian NFT community. In fact, I know someone that joined through me, and today she's I think she's one of the key people there. So just find anything to do. You could just join an NFT project. Literally join an NFT project. Nigerian NFT community. Someone is launching an NFT project, and you're in charge of developing content for that NFT project. And the funny thing is, the project doesn't even have to scale. It doesn't even have to be out there. The fact that it was launched, and you can clearly show your contribution to the launch of that project. Many times that's all they need. They want to see practical experience. Like I mentioned last year, people like me got away with it, and that's why I'm in Web3 currently. People like me got away with it. The demand for having actual experience was not high, but since it became mainstream, it's almost impossible to get a job in Web3 without clearly showing that you've been part of a project. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Harry. Thank you so much, guys. I think we had a very good retention as well. We had 29 people. Started with around 26, so that's
that shows relevance and actual quite a lot of learnings. Thank you, Harry. It was a really great session. I actually learned a lot. I see I need to go back to my, maybe I created separate CV tailored to Web3 and see how I can do one or two things. So thank you so much. With DigiClan, like I mentioned earlier, we're a community of digital marketing professionals across several verticals, from crypto to agencies to brand side. That's it for me. We're all gonna make it. Yes, last to go. Harry, I like that slide.
I had to do that for my people.
We're all gonna make it though. Eventually, you get it. So if you missed any part of the session, this will be uploaded in the course of the week. You could go to the YouTube channel, just type in DigiClan on the search channel on YouTube, and then you can rewatch this session and previous sessions from masterclasses. We do this once every 2 weeks, and we also have a panel discussion for senior level conversation on how we can affect policies and directions in the industry, and not just sit at the back. So we do that once a quarter as well. You can consume all of this content, and if you want to be a part of the community, you could join. I think Amina will drop a link to the registration. It's digiclan.africa/registration. digiclan.africa/registration. You join, and then there would be a follow-up. Follow us on all social media channel at DigiClan Africa on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And before the end of the year, we'll also have a physical meetup. And it's been a great session. We have about 12 minutes over time. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great weekend ahead.